What's going on, everybody? Happy 1st of December. Bit of a rocky start to the week out in the markets, as you guys can see. A lot of stuff in the red here, but I want to touch on some interesting news that I just came across today, kind of looking through the stocks. The business news pops up and you keep on track with what's going on out in the world. But as far as diversified funds, guys, HHIS is trending down a little bit below the average market. So we're at 1.37 down, and the NASDAQ, for example, is down only 0.38%. But the reason I'm looking at HHIS here is because there's one fund, one very contentious fund that a lot of people have been talking about lately, MSTE, that I know some people put some big money into. And man, this ETF here from Harvest, I know Yield Max and some other fund managers have different versions, but I'm just going to talk about this one because this is the leveraged covered call version from Harvest. And the reason I kind of keep an eye on this one is because I hold quite a bit of shares of HHIS, and HHIS, they've got a little bit of the MSTE in there. I think they've kind of been trimming it down a little bit, but MSTE, guys, just for reference, year to date is down 65%. Obviously, this is not including those monthly dividends that'll, cushion some of that downside. But the reason we're going to talk about this today is there's some interesting news out of MSTR, Microstrategy. So MSTE is down 65, MSTR is down 42 year to date. But here's the news here. Bitcoin buying company Strategy raises 1.44 billion to weather the crypto downturn. They've also acquired 11.7 million worth of Bitcoins in the last 2 weeks, but we know that's what they do. So we're going to just look into what they've done to see how this might save the downfall from getting even worse, because we're all bleeding out a little bit if you've got exposure to MicroStrategy. And just for the record, guys, I do believe in Bitcoin. I think that it's definitely got some great long-term potential. That's just my own opinion. Of course, nothing on this channel is ever financial advice. These are just my opinions, but I like to have a little bit of exposure to MSTR, MSTE, because you get that leverage Bitcoin exposure. But at the same time, I've kind of got two feelings about it. It is a company. They've got employees. They've got overhead. They've got their whole business model too, which I honestly don't know much about. So personally, I actually just prefer to have exposure to Bitcoin itself. I feel like that'd be a much more simpler way, in my opinion. But let's look at this article here. They announced today that they've created a 1.44 billion USD reserve to support their dividend payments on their preferred stock. And I do believe that their dividend, they've got like a monthly dividend. It's about 10%. It's pretty good, a pretty juicy dividend on that preferred stock. I've actually looked into it. It's nice yield there. But so they finance their USD reserve through at the market stock offering, and they aim to maintain a balance to cover their 12 months of dividends, with long-term plans to enhance that coverage to 24 months. So I guess they're going to build on this USD cash reserve. So let's see, it says here in quotes, Saylor states that establishing a USD reserve to complement their BTC reserve marks the next step in our evolution. It makes sense, guys, with the volatility of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, like year to date, it's not been doing the best either, down 10%. But we all know it's very volatile. But, you see the chart when you zoom out, it's some pretty good returns. But to weather that volatility makes sense. They've got to cover that dividend. They've got to maintain that standing with their company. So this is a long article, but you guys have seen the headline here. Basically is that they're establishing this cash reserve to cover their preferred stock dividend, And, hopefully this can keep this stock from bleeding out too much more because, guys, MSTE, I talked about it in a previous video, but it's down, like it's trading at almost $5 a share. And Yield Max, they just recently did a reverse split on a bunch of their ETFs, and they were trading around, I don't know, $3 to $5. So who knows if there's a reverse split in the future for MSTE, and how would that affect HHIS if there was? I think HHIS is going to be fairly insulated from what goes on with MSTE just because HHIS could trim down that position. But I don't see it as a good thing either way because there's still exposure to MSTE. And then, it sucks for people who put, a lot of money into MSTE. You don't want to see a reverse split, really. I know that's another contentious issue. You have the same amount of shares or it's worth the same or whatever, but I don't think it's a net positive, guys. So let's hope that with this news today, MicroStrategy can turn around, hopefully. And then in doing so, MSTE could maybe capture some upside. And, it's volatile too. It's like today, you look at the chart today, it touched down into the $4 range and then it closed up at $5.20. So as much as a downside can quickly take place, I think it can also capture some good upside because with the volatility of MicroStrategy and the volatility of Bitcoin, it moves up, it moves down, but you've got that leverage too, right? So I don't know, guys. I don't like seeing it around that $5 mark. I'd love to see some of that upside capture. So let's hope with that news today, we can start to see some upside with MicroStrategy. They're down 3.25, but then they're up 1.7 today after hours. So maybe some of that good news is going to be trending up into the green now. Anyways, guys, start of December. Hope everybody has a great start of the week, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.